and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, tonight, Ms. Fury, do we have any special recognitions?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do. I would like to take the opportunity tonight to recognize the winners of our recent Griffin-Risa Regional Science Fair. Newton County School System has had so many win awards that we have had to separate our recognition program into 2 board meeting nights. This evening, we will recognize those students who won first place at the Regional Science Fair. When I call your name, please come forward to accept your certificate of recognition from our board chair, Ms. Shaquila Henderson Baker. We will start with the middle schools. Miss Diana Vo. Diana is a student at Clements Middle School. She won first place in the engineering, electrical, and mechanical category with her project, Leaky Clues to Dam Design. Great job, Diana. Emily Cope. Emily attends Cousins Middle School. She won first place in the physics and astronomy category with her project, Potato Gun, Barrel Length and Distance. Dory Berry. Dory also attends Cousins Middle School. She won first place in the cellular and molecular biology category with her project, Variations in DNA Amount. In addition to her first place award, Dory's project also won the prestigious Broadcom Masters Award. Great job to both Emily and Dory. Ava Jane Teasley. Ava is a student at Indian Creek Middle School. She won first place in the animal science category with her project, Preventing a Pain in the Butt. We probably need to hear a little more about that one. In addition to Ava's first place award, her project also won the prestigious Broadcom Masters Award. Great job, Ava. Caroline Piper. Caroline attends Indian Creek Middle School. She won first place in the animal science category with her project, What's Going On in Your Dog's Eyes? Great job, Caroline. Emma Rains. Emma also attends Indian Creek Middle School. She won first place in the physics and astronomy category with her project, Can You Catch That? Great job to Emma Rains. In absentia. Daphne Ramirez. Daphne attends Indian Creek Middle School as well. She won first place in the behavioral and social sciences category with her project, Remember Me? Great job, Daphne. Wesley Rains. Wesley attends Indian Creek Middle School. He won first place in the physics and astronomy category with his project, Revenge of the Cooler Soda. Great job, Wesley. Caroline Dumdy. Caroline attends Indian Creek Middle School. She won first place in the physics and astronomy category with her project, What Floats Your Boat? Great job, Caroline. Katie Bryans. Katie also attends Indian Creek Middle School. She won first place in the physics and astronomy category with her project, Sinking Moby Duck. Great job, Katie. Emma Camfield. Emma is a student at Newton County Theme School at Fickwit. She won first place in the physics and astronomy category with her project, Red Eye. Emma's project also won the prestigious Broadcom Masters Award. Great job, Emma. Joshua O'Brien. Joshua is a student at Newton County Theme School at Fickwit. He won first place in the Earth and Planetary Science category with his project, Weathering the Storm. Great job, Joshua. Next, we will recognize our high school students who won first place at the Griffin-Risa Regional Science Fair. Anthony MacArthur and Nkosi Cave. Anthony and Nkosi attend Newton High School. They won first place in the Behavioral and Social Sciences category with their project, How Does Social Media and Technology Affect the Interpersonal Skills of Teenagers in Our Society? Great job. Vitaly Semenikin. Vitaly won first place in the Energy and Transportation category with his project, Investigating Piezoelectric Properties for Practical Application. That's a word, piezoelectric. In addition to his first place award, Vitaly's project also won the United States Navy and the United States Marine Award. Congratulations to Vitaly.
Sherry, this young lady who came in late, I don't know, on the back, right behind Amy. Oh, okay.
Anybody else? Okay. Once again, let's take this opportunity to recognize the efforts of our students. We are very proud of the hard work and dedication. It's not easy to go to the science fair and be competitive. They're competing with all the school systems in the region, and especially to be a first place winner and to take and to be recognized for special awards, the Broadcom Award, the United States Navy and Marines. I mean, this community has a great deal to be proud of, and they're all sitting in this room. So parents, we really thank you for your support and your efforts, because we know that oftentimes with the science fair project, our students have to get extra help from home to make things work. So it's a great effort between our teachers, our school system, our families, and our students, and we are absolutely proud of each one of you. Now, each of our students will move on to represent Newton County School System in the Georgia Science and Engineering Fair at the University of Georgia later this month, and I am sure we will do well. This concludes the recognition portion of this evening's meeting, and I'd like to just applaud the efforts of our students one more time. Thank you. With that being said, Madam Chair, if I may, this is the time of the program where we begin to get into the business of the school system, and oftentimes many of you choose not to listen to that part of the meeting. So if you wish to leave, this would be the time to make that happen. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to remain and enjoy the working of the Board of Education.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll go ahead and proceed with the agenda. Do we have any public participation? Don't think so. Okay. Moving forward then, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. It's been a motion by Mr. Turner, second by Ms. Coggan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Been motion by Mr. Turner, second by Mr. Metters. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposes? Okay, very good. Superintendent's report, Ms. Bullard.
Beginning with our SPLOS collections, they were down this month, $797,533. We're still averaging about $872,000 for this SPLOS. I did get the new auto taxes today. I didn't have that information for the report. They were $89,496 this month. And I did, just looked at the collections just for this fiscal year. They're $743,230, which is an average of about $93,000 a month. Expenditures, we're running below budget, and we're performing also better than last year at this time. We're at 64.47, and last year we were at 65.52 with 66.67% of the year done. And the revenues, they don't look as good as last year, but that's because, if you'll remember, we adjusted our revenues. We corrected them last month, and we did not do that at this time last year. So they look like they're down, but they're just, as compared to budget, they're lower because we raised our budget. We corrected it up to where it should be. And that's it for the financial report.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Fuller. Operations report, Dr. Lockhart.
Operations report, maintenance and operations. Maintenance received 697 work requests in February 2014, with 566 having been completed. There are 131 remaining work orders in progress. Procurement. Governor Nathan Deal proclaimed March 2014 as Purchasing Month in Georgia on March 4th, 2014. Corey Craver, Procurement and Facilities Planning Specialist, representing the school system at the Capitol for the signing of the proclamation. Procurement professionals, through their combined purchasing power, spend billions of dollars annually on all types of goods and services. This spending has a significant influence upon economic conditions throughout the state, the country, and the world. So we're happy we were able to participate in that signing of the proclamation. Student transportation. The average per gallon cost for diesel fuel purchased during February was $3.41. Fuel was last purchased in January for $3.31. In February 2013, the average cost of fuel was $3.64. Ombudsman report. The total enrollment as of March 6, 2014 is 103 high school students and 27 middle school students. And one item of note for school nutrition, My Payments Plus revenues year to date through February 2014 were $491,877. This is a 10% increase over the same period in school year 2013, which indicates that more of our parents are utilizing that service to pay for breakfast and or lunch. And that concludes the operations report.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lockhart. Do we have any questions about the operations report?
Just a comment. Are we still on target for ombudsman?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, we had a preliminary meeting with the ombudsman team. This was last week, and we will actually be presenting some information to you in the very near future on March 18th.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, Dr. Lockhart, you want to proceed with curriculum instruction?
Yes, ma'am. Just a few items of note. Item number one, approximately 6,500 walkthroughs have been conducted in the Newton County school system. From the walkthroughs conducted, many of the research-based instructional strategies are being incorporated in classroom lessons. Number two, one of the strategies in the Newton County school system district is the SAT-ACT plan, the district SAT-ACT plan, and it's designed to create a college-going culture within each school. Each school has designated a place in the building that highlights all faculty by listing the college that he or she attended and their major upon graduation. So if you get a chance to go into our schools, it's a really, really uplifting sight to see. Item number four, congratulations to the teachers, leaders, and students at Alcova and Newton High Schools, as both schools have been named by the College Board AP STEM schools and AP Access and Support schools. Our high school teams have worked diligently to ensure students have access to pathways and coursework that meet their post-secondary needs, and we're very proud of that work. On page 2, I want to draw your attention to item 14. East Newton after-school students visited the Covington Home Depot store to take part in their consumer education program. Students were divided into two groups and participated in interactive educational activities throughout the store. Our children had a great time participating in this educational fun field trip, and we want to thank Home Depot for their service. On page 3, item 17, we just want to highlight one of our own, Dr. Sheila Thomas. She attended the Title I Georgia Compensatory Educational Leaders, or GCEL, conference on February 24th through the 26th. And Dr. Thomas was selected as president for the GCEL Professional Organization, where she will be in charge of planning the 2015 GCEL Conference for the state. So we're very proud of her accomplishments on behalf of the school system and the state itself.
Very good.
One other item with the CIT report on page 4, item 21, just to showcase some of the great work that's going on in technology. In late February, our technology department hosted multiple individuals from various school districts and other institutions who are interested in the ViewPath system. These visitors include education professionals from the following places: New York City schools, Keller Independent School District from Texas, Nye County, Nye County School District in Nevada, Griffin Spalding School District, Reese Public Schools out of Michigan, Clayton County School District, Essex Hampton out of Michigan, and Augray, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can pronounce this one, this is a French name, Augray Sims Public Schools, Michigan. The visitors also included employees from Audio Enhancement, Safari Montage, and other educational technological companies such as the Insight Education Group. We are being viewed as a leader at the state, national, and even international level with the implementation of ViewPath and Audio Enhancement in the SAFE system. So again, we just want to recognize the efforts of the team that we have here in place in Newton County. And that concludes the CIT report at this time. We have a presentation, but Madam Chair, I'd like to give you the enrollment report if I can do so.
Okay, before you proceed with enrollment, let me make sure that nobody has questions or comments related to curriculum instruction and technology, please. Anybody? Okay, thank you. Dr. Lockhart, you can proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Our enrollment report as of, this is from March 6, 2014, and our total as of today is 19,459 students. This time last year was 19,151 students, so there is an increase of 308 students currently. And that concludes the enrollment report.
Just a comment, please.
Yes, sir.
Last month, we received a report on the number of students that transferred into Newton County from private institutions, private schools.
Yes, sir.
And I believe it was 254 or 34 somewhere. I don't quote me on that. Is there any way we can extract from that data the number, if any, students requiring special needs?
What I will do is I'll research that for you, and we'll see if we can pull that information. If so, we'll make sure we make that available to you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other questions or comments related to the enrollment report? Okay, you can go ahead with the presentation.
Yes, ma'am. And this,
Oh, I'm sorry. I did see you walk in. I am so sorry. You guys, we're gonna deviate from the approved agenda. Is Ms. Raines? Okay.
So let me start by recognizing Emma Raines, who was a participant in the regional science fair and represented Newton County at Indian Creek Middle School. Emma won first place in the physics and astronomy category with her project, Can You Catch That? Congratulations, Emma. Thank you.
and Madam Chair, at this time, we would like,
The screen. Just say it now.
I moved to the left and then that's what did it. At this time, we'd like to give a program update for our work with the Insight Education Group. I'll now turn the floor over to our Director of Secondary and Curriculum Instruction and Professional Learning, Ms. Shannon Buff.
Okay.
Good evening. I wanted to provide you with an update. Ms. Fury and myself and a couple of other people from the district office had a quarterly check-in with Insight Education Group last week, and so after our check-in, we wanted to make sure that we provided you with an update of exactly how the program's progressing at this point. And so what I did was take information from the original report that I presented to you back in the fall, and I've color-coded it. So if you see something in green, that means it's completed, and if you see something in yellow, that means that it's still in progress. So the first thing was phase 1, and that was just our establishing a coaching relationship. And Mara, who is our Insight expert, came in and she met with all of the teachers, and she has established that relationship with them, meeting in person, on phone, email, using the ViewPath system. The second thing that she did was gather data and set goals. I'm sorry that you can't see. I think it's a little off, but the team of teachers set their own personal goals. We had goals for the program as a district, but the team also sat down and set goals individually. So the teachers got to set their own goals, and then they gathered data. They were able to look at their benchmark results. They were able to look at the EOCTs from last year and really kind of dig down to where they thought some of the problems might have existed. And then finally, delivering ongoing support. That's something that's still going on. We have Mara with us through May, and so she's constantly in contact with the teachers. She'll be here next week to do a professional development session with all the coordinate algebra teachers. So that's why that's still in yellow, because it's ongoing. So the plan that we had specifically for our school system started off with a strategic planning meeting, and that happened October 23rd and 24th. The team from Insight came in, they went to all of the high schools, they went and did observations in the coordinate algebra classrooms so they could come back and sit down with us. We analyzed our data, and we really kind of drilled down to what we saw as being some of the issues with coordinate algebra. From that point, we developed a customized professional development program. 3 of the 4 sessions have been completed, and the final session, as I mentioned earlier, is next week on March 18th. The third thing was the coaching, and what happens with coaching is, I mentioned earlier, was goals and action plans that are developed. Video footage is sent to Mara every 2 weeks, and then she returns the video footage with feedback that gives specifics about what the teacher did really well, what an opportunity for growth might have been, and then actually ways to improve it. So she might come back in and say, here's how you could have changed this lesson, or she might be able to see something using the ViewPath cameras the teachers can't see because they're in the middle of teaching. And then finally, the specialized project management. Mara calls me every week on Monday at 4 o'clock, like clockwork, so I speak to her once a week. She also updates all of the administrators one time per week, and then we have our quarterly check-ins with her as well. I know y'all don't want to hear from me, you want to hear from the people that are actually in the program. So what we did was we invited teachers from each of the schools that are participating to come and speak to you. So our first teacher is Miss Katie Ewing, and she is a teacher at Eastside High School.
Hi. Yes, my name is Katie Ewing. I'm a 6-year teacher at Eastside High School. Originally, I started on a provisional certificate and took online courses to receive the requirements to become certified. So I never had the student-teacher experience. But with Mara, who is an educator specific to my content, she has been able to focus on me and provide me feedback and be a personalized resource that provided advice on my strengths and struggles. Insight, she, mainly Mara, has challenged me and given me support to enhance my teaching style by being more student-focused in the classroom. I no longer just plan on what to teach, but I create plans so that my students have to ask each other questions. They have to compare and reason through their thoughts and answers. I had this wow moment the other day. I had this kid who was my low-level performing student, and I saw him talking to the high-level performing student. Not only was he talking, he was telling the high-level how to do the problem. So I just had this wow moment, and I thought, wow, that proves that this strategy works. It's beneficial. I give all the credit to my participation in Insight because Mara has not only provided me with the techniques, but she showed me how. I have learned how to reword questions and problems that challenge the students at a higher level of thinking. I really think that being involved in Insight will take anyone's teaching style and the capabilities of the students to challenge each of us to be the best we can be and experiment with new ideas. That's my experience with Insight.
Thank you.
Next, we have Miss Heather Wallace from Alcovey High School.
Hi. I'm nervous too, so I'm just going to read mine, if that's okay. I am at Alcovey High School. This is my second year with coordinate algebra, fifth year teaching, so it's been a little bit different than Katie's and the others that you'll hear. My goal is to reach and teach all students, as most teachers is. Whatever avenue I have to take to do so, I will gladly go down it. Education is constantly changing, and if you want to continue to succeed, to have your students to succeed, you have to accept that. So with Insight and Mara, I've had the opportunity to have someone work with me individually to become a better teacher, and throughout the experience, I felt like Mara was only here to help me. She probably got tired of me thinking that with as many emails that I sent to her. But if someone's offering you the opportunity to hone your craft and to receive more individualized support, then why would you not use that to your full advantage? I think that is also a testament to Mara's work ethic and the relationships she builds to within her craft. I was never worried about asking Mara a question, asking for help, or even asking for criticism. I have never handled criticism well, but the relationship I feel like I've built with Mara has allowed me to accept her commentary and use it to my advantage. Through Mara, I have gained insight into how to encourage my students to talk to each other. I don't want to be seen as the keeper of knowledge anymore. My students know that I understand the content, and I want them to know that they can discover and understand it just as well, if not better than I do. With so much information that's being handed to them these days, I think it's extremely important for them to see that they have power too over their education. They have the ability to create and put into action these thoughts. They can converse mathematically and intellectually without my guidance. As we've seen said many times this year, I can let their hands go now. I talked with several educators on creating a more student-centered classroom last year and this year, but was never really able to execute it. But with Mara's help, I feel as though I have a student-centered classroom that functions at a higher level. In addition to leading my students into more discussions, Mara and Insight have given me the tools to do so. Mara didn't simply give me the strategies and expect me to be successful on my own. She helped me find activities and learn how to create activities that I can make in the future for my students. Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Kelly Bird. I wanted to explain a little bit about why Kelly is here tonight. Kelly, as you might recall, we have 10 teachers that participate in submitting video footage to Mara every 2 weeks. The rest of the teachers are participating in the professional development sessions, and they participate with PLCs. Kelly doesn't teach coordinate algebra all day, but does teach coordinate algebra. And so one reason that I asked her to come is because she has been able to share with me the impact of the professional learning and also of the impact in the PLC. So I'll let her speak now.
Good evening. For Alcovey and our coordinate algebra team, as a well-functioning coordinate algebra PLC, we use our time to discuss how we can implement instructional strategies for our classes. As we try to incorporate the instructional strategies, we record ourselves, and as a team, we give constructive criticism of one another. This has helped our team become focused on standards being taught and which strategies will work best for our students. I'm on the outside looking in due to the fact that I do not participate in the Insight, and I see how my coworkers are blossoming and the strategies that they use, and we come back and talk and see how we can design it or change it or make it work better for our classes. So I do see it as a learning tool, something that's a good tool for teachers to have. So I just wanted to say my piece on the outside looking in. Thank you.
And then we have Ashley Cranford from Newton High School.
Hi, good evening. Okay, so my name is Ashley Cranford Wood, and I'm a teacher at Newton High School. I graduated college over the summer, and this is my first year teaching. Throughout college, I remember constantly hearing how hard your first year of teaching is. I know there are a lot of first-year teachers who do not make it past the first year. I do not feel that my first year of teaching has been as hard as everyone made it out to be. I think there are numerous reasons why my first year of teaching has been so successful. One of the main reasons was because I had the proper support in place to be successful. A large part of my support system came from Mara at Insight Education. Mara has been that person I could email at 10 o'clock at night asking her opinion on an idea I had at the spur of the moment. Since graduating college, I have kept in touch with the 20 other students in my cohort at the University of Georgia. The common denominator between all these teachers is that they do not feel like they have had the support since college to cultivate their profession. Since I am a first-year teacher, there are a lot of times I am trying something new. One of the benefits of working with Mara is that she has a true vision into my classroom and who I am as a teacher. The feedback I receive from Mara comes with ideas and suggestions that are personalized for me. She has pushed me to become a better teacher by having me set my own personal goals and sees to it that every step I take helps me reach these goals. I truly feel like Mara has sped up my transition from just a first-year teacher to now a teacher ready for the next year.
If we could, I just want to say I have been in all of these teachers' classrooms on multiple occasions. They are very impressive. I would be very proud to have my child in any of their classrooms. And I just would like to give them one more round of applause because they've done a great job. So do we have any questions?
Any questions from up here?
I have none.
Yeah,
I have none.
you have none?
Madam Chair, may I say something?
Sure.
I have no questions, but I would just like to commend all of the teachers who are here this evening and who we are extremely proud of the work that you're doing. You are like the pioneers blazing the trail with this new technology. You are leading the way. You're teaching us about how to coach from afar, how to leverage the technology, and you are the examples that we like to put in front of other people because you are doing a fabulous job. We appreciate you, and we are grateful for your effort and your commitment and for trying something new that might be a little scary at first, and to trusting us that this really is not about how to get you. This is about how to help so that all of our students are met with high-quality teachers who know exactly what they're doing and who feel very confident in what they're doing. So we really appreciate you, and we thank you for being here tonight to speak to our board to let them know how you stand with this product and this tool. Thank you.
If you don't mind, I told them they could leave when they got finished.
That is fine. Can I have them stand for it? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm the social media queen for the school system. And so I would like to tweet you guys out. All of your awesomeness.
Oh, come on now.
Okay, let me get it together here. I had one, but the chairs look ugly in my picture, so. On 3. 3. Okay. Thank you guys so much for all that you do.
I was just going to make a comment. I'm a parent, and my son knows that I'm Kobe, so I've seen the results of this project as a parent, and it really enhanced my son.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have any old business on the agenda, so we'll move forward with new business. New business, item A, Dr. Shattuck. Where's your technology, Dr. Shattuck?
Touche. I deserve that one. Good evening.
Good evening.
Mrs. Fury, Madam Chairwoman, ladies and gentlemen of the board, I bring to you item number A. It is the recommendation of the superintendent, the approval of the revision of the board policy IFBG. This policy will be under review as required until voted on April 15th, 2014, work session meeting of the Newton County School System Board of Education. Policy IFBG is our computer acceptable use policy. Every couple of years, we revise it according to the requirements and changes in technology and in our society, what we see we need to put in the policy. This year has been slightly different. There are some changes because of the technology, but what I've tried to do, because of some complaints from the schools having difficulty implementing this policy, is try to simplify it, make it easier to read, and make it more user-friendly, so the students and the parents and the school personnel can understand what the policy represents. So there's a lot of deletions in there, and that's done on purpose, trying to simplify the language. Also, if it's too long, people won't read it. So this policy tries to shorten it and make it more concise and also make it more readable. I'll be glad to discuss any of those items. If you have any questions about any individual items, we'll be voting on in April, and I'll come back in April, and we can discuss them at that time as well, if you'd like to do that then.
Okay. Do we have any questions now?
Well, just one, was this policy review, we had a team from DOE do revisions, I'm gonna say last year before, went through a whole slew of policies, but it went through their recommendations. Did this one go through that same process?
Yes, sir, it did.
Thank you.
And this is we made changes, they accepted the changes we had made earlier. We didn't have to make changes because of their visit, because the policy was acceptable at that time. It's not that the policy is bad, I'm just trying to make it more concise, so it's easier to use.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have any other questions for Dr. Shattuck? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, items B, C, and D are all Mr. Barr.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Item B, the superintendent recommends certain items be declared surplus and disposed of per board policy DO. The property presented for your consideration this evening is from the central office, Eastside High, Rocky Plains Elementary, the Service Center, and Veterans Memorial Middle School. And that concludes item B.
Okay, any questions on the surplus items? Okay, proceed.
Okay. The next four items really are all interrelated, but item C and D are connected. Item C, the superintendent recommends the adoption of a resolution authorizing participation in the National Purchasing Cooperative known as and operating as National Buy Board. In 2009, the NSBA collaborated with the Rhode Island Association of School Committees and the Maryland Association of Boards of Education to create the Buy Board National Purchasing Cooperative. Through the use of current technologies and economies of scale, Buy Board delivers savings opportunities on multiple lines of goods and services to school systems and other governmental agencies. All items have been awarded based on a competitive solicitation process. Membership in the cooperative is free. School systems must be members in good standing of the respective state school boards association, and the board must adopt a formal resolution authorizing participation in the purchasing cooperative. And a copy of that resolution is attached. Adoption of this resolution will allow us to purchase the student agendas at the price defined in the next item, item D.
Okay. Any questions for C? Okay, go ahead and move with D.
All right. Item D, the superintendent recommends the student agendas needed for the school system be purchased from Premier Agendas Incorporated of Bellingham, Washington. The agendas will be acquired from Premier Agendas Incorporated, a division of School Specialty, one of the nation's top providers of educational products. The school system will utilize the competitively bid contract I mentioned earlier to purchase the agendas. The cost per unit agenda will be $1.69, including delivery. Based on 2013-14 school year data, this procurement will save the school system approximately $6,400 over last year's cost. The estimated total cost of this purchase is $38,474.54. Accordingly, to be able to purchase these at this price requires the approval of the resolution in item C. And that concludes item D.
Okay. Any questions for D? The agenda, I have a question.
Okay.
So because I'm looking at the cost savings, it's going to be the exact same type of agenda.
It is a little different in that it is a 5 by 8,
Uh-huh.
and I think the size this year is a little bit different than that, but not much. 5 by 7.
Okay. Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Item E and F, Mr. Berry.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm here to present the superintendent's recommendation for the approval of the system portion of the 2014-15 elementary student handbook. You've each been provided with a copy of the edits, which are outlined in the following manner. Deletions are stricken through in red, and additions or insertions are highlighted in blue. The memorandum that accompanies this document outlines probably the most important changes in the handbook, in addition to typographical errors and grammatical errors that we've completed. This list that is in the memo indicates other changes that we've made. There are a few that I will highlight for you. On page 11 in your PDF document, there was a deleted description of the 7-step bus discipline, and that was because it was redundant in the handbook. It was already in the code of conduct, so there was no need for it to be in 2 places. There's also, on page 16 in the PDF document, inserted electronic devices during testing, standardized testing, that is, and that was required by Georgia Department of Education guidelines to the testing department. There's also, which was inadvertently left off of the memo, but there is a addition, and it would be on page 17 in the PDF document. It's an addition of Georgia law outlining if a parent or some other person insults staff members in the presence of students, they can be asked to leave campus, and that was put in as that was in the secondary handbook last year, and was inadvertently left out of the elementary handbook. Page 31 in the PDF document, student support services is an antiquated term, and we replaced that with response to intervention. And page 41, the Georgia Department of Education has issued a discipline matrix which separates some discipline incidents into different variations and severity, one of which is drug possession. We have created a separate rule for students who failed to report medication, which would be if they're in possession of a prescription or over-the-counter medication. It won't be reported on their discipline as a illegal drug possession because it's 2 different levels. So we created a different rule for that. Page 42 in the document, we've edited Rule 11, which was previously tobacco possession, to include electronic cigarettes, and we've titled that rule Nicotine Delivering Products. Electronic cigarettes are growing in popularity, and we have had heard of instances throughout the country where students have been using that there in the school, on the school property, and we didn't have that covered anywhere in our code of conduct. Also on page 42 of the document is an addition to Rule 13, banned objects, to put toy. We already had water gun, but we put toy gun just so that we can capture any item that is obviously a toy. So that was put in there. Page 52 of the document, we inserted rule number 70, which is sexual battery. That was inadvertently left out of the elementary handbook in past years, but was included in the secondary and is a required inclusion in code of conduct. Any questions regarding the elementary? Any of the items that I did not go over here that you would like to ask me a question about?
I just have a general question. When will these go into print? And the only reason why I'm asking that, I mean, should there be some legislation like regarding weapons, because there's some discussion going on with that currently, then will we be able to update the handbook?
There are actually several pieces of legislation that may impact our code of conduct. Whenever legislation has come out in the past that impacts anything that we have approved as policy, we will send an addendum out in letter form. We typically get guidance from the Department of Education on how to handle any of those changes that affect previously state-driven rules.
Okay.
I have a question. What's the cost for the printing of the handbooks?
That's relevant to what we just spoke of. That's part of the two
that
items
38?
prior to this.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's the total for
For
secondary ed?
Okay, for both?
For both.
Okay, good, thank you.
Any other questions related to the elementary? Okay. Also, the next item is a similar recommendation. Superintendent recommends the approval of the system portion of 14-15 secondary handbook. This was presented to you in a PDF document in the same way with the same types of tracking options. Deletions have been stricken through and noted in red, and the additions have been noted in blue. Also, there is in the memorandum accompanying the document an outline of the changes that were made in this handbook, and I will review a few of those for you. We inserted a few things towards at the end of the secondary portion prior to the code of conduct that were just not in this handbook. They are important things that need to be in here, and were in the elementary handbook for the most part. We inserted a Title I description, a response to intervention description, RTI, and we inserted that same electronic devices during standardized testing, which again was in response to the Georgia Department of Education guidelines. Those are all, I believe, on page 18 of your PDF document. Page 23 of the document, the administrators in the school asked that Saturday school non-attendance be reduced. It had previously said a 1 to 3 day suspension. They wanted it reduced to just a 1 day suspension across the board to be consistent. Page 35 in the document, we inserted Rule 4, the failure to report medication for the same reasons that we did for the elementary handbook. That was in response to the Department of Education discipline matrix, drug offense distinctions. Page 35, the same edit to Rule number 11 regarding electronic cigarettes, and the same edit to Rule 13 banned objects will be on page 36. And I failed to mention in elementary, but the same process occurred for both of these edits. We brought in the administrators, the Director of Education from each of the grade span, Mr. Peck for elementary, Ms. Buff for secondary. Attended the meeting with me, Renee Finley, Student Services Director, and an administrative representative from each school. Most of the time it was principal. In some cases there was an assistant principal as well. And we actively edited those documents up on the smart board and listened to recommendations from the administration. Any questions regarding secondary?
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Okay, item GH, or items, excuse me, GH and I, Ms. Lumens.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Item G, the superintendent recommends the approval of the use of the Newton High School kitchen for the preparation of food for summer feeding programs in Newton County. The Rock of Salvation Ministries is requesting the approval of an application to rent the kitchen at Newton High School from June 4 through July 18, 2014. The principal of Newton High School has approved the request. The staff from the school nutrition program will be employed by Rock of Salvation Ministries to prepare the food. This concludes item G.
Any questions for item G? Okay, you can proceed.
Item H, the superintendent recommends the approval of a school lunch price increase of 10 cents for all paid students for fiscal year 2015. It's a little bit of background. The United States Department of Agriculture requires school food authorities participating in the National School Lunch Program to to ensure sufficient funds are provided to the nonprofit school food service account for meals served to students not eligible for free or reduced price meals. And over the next 7 years, the school lunch program meal prices for paid lunches must increase to the amount equal to the federal reimbursement rate for free meals less the paid meal reimbursement rate of 27 cents. The meal price target for fiscal year 2015 is $2.59 for paid meals. And annually, the USDA provides us with a paid lunch equity calculator, which calculates the required price increase for the coming year. And using this paid lunch equity calculator, the following meal prices are necessary to begin progress toward meeting the USDA rule. Elementary lunches will increase from $1.60 to $1.70. Secondary lunch will increase from $1.85 to $1.95. Adult lunch prices will remain the same, and there will be no change to breakfast prices. That concludes item H.
Okay. Do we have any members that have a question about that item? Okay. I actually have a question. And my question is, I know that they have to increase, and it seems like we are increasing them annually. But my question is pertaining to the free and reduced lunch. So since lunch prices increase, then does the free and reduced lunch requirements change along with it yearly, or no?
No.
They do not?
No.
Okay.
Those prices are, those are reimbursement rates that are set by Congress. And the goal of this memo is for us to eventually reach the level of reimbursement that we receive for the free lunch, that the paid students will be paying that price as well. As you can see from those rates, paid lunch is subsidized by the school nutrition program right now.
Right.
And the reduced price meals, the price that we can charge for lunch for a reduced price is 40 cents, and that is set by USDA.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, you can proceed with the next item.
Item I, the superintendent recommends the annual renewable contract awarded to BOG Services doing business as Prime Maintenance of Grayson, Georgia for the purchase of fire ant treatment services be renewed for an additional contract period. The effective date of the renewal will be March 20th, 2014, and the expiration date will be March 19th, 2015. The contract was originally awarded on March 18th, 2013, and it covers the treatment of all grounds that students and staff frequent, as well as athletic fields, playgrounds, and mulched areas. The vendor has performed satisfactorily, met all contractual requirements, and has agreed to continue their service under the current terms and conditions of the contract with no price increase. The estimated contract value is $35,000 annually.
Okay, do we have any questions for Ms. Loomis? Thank you, Ms. Loomis. Okay. Item J and K. Dr. Lockhart.
Item J, the superintendent recommends approval of the use of facilities at Middle Ridge Elementary School beginning March 16th, 2014 for a church service each Sunday morning and Wednesday evening. Background, board policy allows for individuals or groups to complete an application for use of facilities. As long as the individual or group requesting use is in accordance with board policy, the principal of the school will grant approval. Voices of Faith Ministries is requesting to continue use of Middle Ridge Auditorium for Sunday mornings from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and on Wednesdays from 6:45 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. beginning Sunday, March 16th, 2014. And this item is up for board action this evening.
Okay. With that being stated, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by Mr. Metters and second by Mr. Turner. Do we have any questions regarding this action item? If not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposes? Okay, ayes, it carries. Item K.
Item K, superintendent requests that the board approve the personnel recommendations made during executive session.
Okay, do I have a motion for item K?
Second.
Okay, been moved by Ms. Coggins, second by Mr. Metters. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposes? Ayes, it carries. other matters of interest? Thank you, Dr. Lockhart.
Madam Chair, may I?
I have a question. I'm going to be a pastor at the church in Middle Ridge, and I noticed that date is March the 16th. Is that the date we're allowed to move forward, or we already have a set date to move forward? If it's in April, we can still.
I can speak with you following the.
Normally, we don't address questions from the floor,
I'm sorry.
but you're a real nice gentleman, so I'm allowing you to. But if you would speak with Dr. Lockhart immediately after he'll answer those questions, you're fine. We're enjoying your presence. Thank you for coming. Okay.
May I? I just want to recognize somebody in the room who tonight is her last board meeting. So before we leave tonight, we want to take the opportunity to give our very best wishes to Ms. Danielle Everson, the education reporter for the Covington News. This is Danielle's last week at the paper as she's accepted a job in Buckhead and will soon be moving. We appreciate all of the articles you've written about the Newton County school system during your tenure, and we thank you not only for your support but also for your friendship. You will be greatly missed, and we know that please know that we wish you all the best in your new position. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else have any other matters of interest? Okay. I have a couple, actually. Well, I have 3, so it's more than a couple. Well, I have 4, actually. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. You know, normally I got to do +1, so I do have 4. So the first one is just to let the board know, GSBA opportunities for nominations. If you would like to run for our office, those are up for grabs. So if you would like to do that, I have the paperwork available for that. The second one is I want to thank the ELT and everybody who worked on the solution for the days that we missed with the snow ice days. I truly want to thank you guys for that, and I'm going to tell you reasons why, because you really put a lot of thought into it, and I heard a lot of great feedback about the days, what we did after people finally understood, which is why, Dr. Lockhart, I said I want you to spell it out. I was able to tell people, okay, I watched the video and I had timed it out for where people need to watch it. So I was able to tell people you need to go to minute 53, and from minute 53 on, you can see that dialogue. So I do appreciate that giving the students those instructional days prior to their testing. And once people saw that, then they said, oh, okay, I get it. So great job, you guys, on that. I think you deserve a round of applause for that.
They did a great job.
The next item I had was the Network Operations Center. Dr. Shattuck, I wanted to highlight that. And the reason being is because we had so much discussion about that Network Operations Center, especially me, and I gave you such a hard time, Dr. Shattuck. But once it's different in what I was explaining to somebody when I went to the open house to see it. When you see the presentations, it's one thing, and you see those numbers, that's one thing. But when you actually see the visual and you can stand inside of it, you say, oh, I get it. This is great. This is awesome. So me standing inside of that, oh, I got it. I apologize for the hard time I gave you. It's great. It's awesome. So thank you for that.
No apologize.
Well, you didn't mean giving me a hard time.
That's a whole nother discussion. No, Eddie. You're right. I gave you a hard time about it too. I apologize to you as well. And then going back, I said I didn't have any. Yeah.
If any of the other board members would like to come out, we will be glad to give them a personal tour at any time.
Okay, perfect. Any of you
Well,
guys?
I won't
go
be
out
coming
and-
because I didn't get the first shot at it.
But, and then the other thing that I want to highlight is the last thing, and it was going back to, it was actually on the agenda, but the SAT, ACT, the college culture from K-12 that we talked about. I meant to mention, I actually went to Flint Hill for an event one night, and I saw their board right there in the hallway, and it's great to see where our teachers are coming from, because I actually stood there and I was looking at all the schools they went to, and what was interesting is that everybody was on the East Coast over at Flint Hill, which, so you can actually see the demographics or the area, the geographical area they're getting their education in. So it was really great to see that. So I want to commend you guys for creating that college culture even in elementary schools. So That are all of my items. Mr. Johnson, I don't have any more.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Ooh, y'all were ready. All in favor? Okay, any opposes? No. Okay, thank you guys. Motion, meeting adjourned.
Sir.